What's up guys, welcome back to East NYC here, and I have a very special board to introduce to you guys today. We got the Acetec Aries X1 4-wheel drive edition with the forged carbon fiber pattern. Now today throughout this video we're going to run through the specs of the board, and I'm going to show you guys various tests we did, including hill climb, braking test, off-roading, is it capable through traffic, etc. Now if you guys would like to see a drag test with the Acetec compared to other boards in the market, please go check out my boy Isuke Unity. He has a great channel, is always frequent, always posting content weekly, and is a very fast growing channel. Go check him out, link in the description below. And furthermore, let's get right into the unboxing. Alright guys, first off we're going to start with the specs of the board. The dimensions of this board is 46 inches in length, 14.5 inches in width, and 7 inches in height. The deck is a carbon fiber deck, and it comes in two options. We got forged carbon fiber and a brand new football pattern weave carbon fiber. Now deck wise, it has a nice concave to it and a nice drop down. Feels similar to most of the other boards on the market that have that same concave and that same W pattern on the deck. Dimensions wise, it is a little longer than most 2-in-1 boards on the market right now, just a little bit. The grip tape design is also very clean and makes the board look very sleek. One thing I also like about the grip tape is that the Acetec logo is shaped like an arrow and is shaping forward, so pretty much they don't have to put any arrows at the front ends or anything, so you pretty much know by looking at the logo where the board is facing from the front. Now for weight wise, the 4-wheel drive version weighs around 43 pounds, the 2-wheel drive version weighs around 36 pounds. Now that is a big difference. 36 pounds is like most of the 2-in-1 boards right now in the market, and 4-wheel drive could be related to more higher end boards. Is it comfortable to carry at this weight? No, it's really not, but weight shouldn't be an issue because you could carry the board from one end. It's not really a big problem. It reduces the weight, so you could always carry the board from the dash guard like your airport luggage. Now let's talk about the price of these boards. The 4-wheel drive version comes at a price around $2,399, and the 2-wheel drive comes around at a price of $1,999. That is a really good price considering the build quality of this board, the CNC hubs and the CNC trucks I'll talk about later. But overall, build quality is amazing, and the price they chose for their model is excellent, and I think it's a good start for their brand new board. Now with the quality of the deck, there also comes with the strength of the deck, and the max load of this board is 265 pounds. Also, one thing to mention about the deck, the ESC is very low profile. It has been sealed in to prevent from any water getting in, so you don't have to worry about your electronics getting fried up. Now, is there an IP rating on this board? I'm not sure 100%. Even if there was an IP rating or not, you shouldn't be taking this out in the rain or going in through puddles. I mean, it's just not suitable, you know, you're gonna have to clean it later. It's just not recommended. So does IP rating matter? No. Just don't ride your board in the rain. Don't take it out during the rain. For the trucks on this board, it is an 11-inch CNC wide traditional kingpin. Now, I really appreciate that they made this board traditional kingpin because boards are just getting faster and faster. They're going speeds above 30 miles an hour, and double kingpin is not very suitable for those speeds. It is a very fun truck to carve on, but traditional kingpin also does it as well. Just good enough, but you definitely need that extra stability, especially when you're going on high speeds. Also, these trucks use a 10mm axle, which is 2mm thicker than most of the 2-in-1 boards right now on the market. So you could definitely fit on tramper wheels if you ever decided to change the wheels or make it smaller. And these trucks are going to use 10mm axle bearings. And also, yes, the hubs on the skateboard are also CNC aluminum hubs, which is amazing in my opinion. The only issue I have with plastic hubs is the boards, they get a lot of abuse on the roads. You might go through a lot of bumps and potholes, and over time the plastic hubs will start creaking, they'll start crackling and making all these noises. Every time you go through those terrains, it's just getting abused, and you know, plastic shouldn't really be suitable. Now yes, plastic is lighter. In my opinion, I prefer metal hubs, and it's going to be perfect for all-terrain riding. Now for the electronics, let's talk about the battery first. Like I mentioned earlier, the deck is longer, so the battery is going to be larger as well. So this battery is a 14S4P 870 watt hour, 16.8 amp hour Molicel P42A 21700 cells. As you may know, Molicel is one of the leading brands right now for cells on the e-skate market because of its longevity and the high discharge rate. I'm very glad they chose these cells for their boards. 14S battery, there's no other board right now in the market that uses a 14S battery. And by board on the market, I mean production board. So yes, this board is definitely unique in its own kind. With a higher number in series, they'll give you higher voltage. With higher voltage, you'll definitely get higher top speed. That's another plus for the 14S battery. Now for the range, Astick claims 28 miles with the 8-inch pneumatic wheels with a 165 pound rider. I weigh around 165 pounds, so I'll be telling you guys the actual range I got later on through this video, through the range test. And for the 2-wheel drive, they claim a range of 40 miles with a 165 pound rider. Now this big battery and long range, you're still definitely gonna have to charge the board, and the charging time for the charger is 6 to 7 hours. Now personally, I think that's a long charging time for an electric skateboard, but Astick has claimed that they're going to make a fast charger in the future. One plus I could give with the slow charger is that it's not forcing a lot of power into the cells while it's charging, so the cells will definitely last longer in the long run. Now the ESC is a custom FOC that Astick has made. It is not Hobbywing or Ling-Yi. It's a very customized ESC. You could do a lot of custom settings on it. You could adjust a lot of things. And personally, this ESC is definitely smoother than any other Hobbywing ESC on the market. The acceleration curve and the braking curve, very smooth. And the 2-wheel drive version has one ESC, which is a 50 amp max ESC. The 4-wheel drive uses dual ESCs, and combined total creates 100 amps max current. So you could tell this board is definitely going to be really powerful off the line. Now the remote has a simple power button, off button, and the mode button, but it's not just only a power and mode button. These buttons have other functions as well, which I will explain later. The remote has 4 modes: low mode, eco mode, sport mode, and sport plus mode. Low mode goes 12 miles per hour, eco mode goes up to 25 miles per hour, sport mode goes up to 31 miles per hour, and sport plus mode goes up to 37 miles per hour. Like I mentioned earlier, the speedometer is really smooth when you accelerate and decelerate. accelerate. It has 2 bars on the remote screen when it's in 4-wheel drive, and it uses 1 bar when it has 2-wheel drive. The remote also has an odometer. It could also display the voltage of your battery. It could also display the current that's going in each of your motors. It has a lot of functions which I will explain later. Now for the motors, the 4-wheel drive uses 4 6384 170 kV 3500 watt motors. Now in total that will come to 14,000 watts. Is this information actually useful? No, not really, because generally most boards in the market have these high numbers to advertise their boards. Although I am reading the specs of this board, specs generally do not really matter about the board. It's definitely the true quality of the board and testing it to see actually how powerful it is. But yes, the 4-wheel drive has a whopping 14,000 watts of power displayed on their website, and the 2-wheel drive has 7,000 watts of power. And the wheels that these motors utilize is an 8-inch 200mm pneumatic tire that is 58mm wide. So yes, these hubs are definitely wider, so you'll have more contact patch on the ground, better carving. There's a 0% chance you're gonna lose grip with these tires. The gear ratio used on these tires is 4.7. If you get the premium accessory pack, you will get 115mm rubber wheels. Now, why did they choose rubber wheels over urethane wheels? Well, this board has a lot of power. When you launch this board off the line with rubber wheels, you still lose traction in the front. So if you had urethane wheels, this board would be really scary to ride and the wheels slipping would be really high. The gear ratio for these wheels is 3.1. Something really funny is that I guess I didn't tighten the nut on the axle very tight, and when I was riding the nut fell off. My rear right wheel didn't have a nut on it the whole time. I was launching, I was doing drag tests, the nut was gone this whole entire time, but I was this close away from falling to the ground. That would have been pretty bad, and thank God I didn't fall. Now with all these components combined, the board has a top speed of 37 miles per hour. 37 miles per hour, that is a really high top speed, and one thing I want to mention is that these boards are just getting crazier and faster. You don't really have suspension or anything, you're just relying on pneumatic tires and a stiff deck. Most of the roads you ride that you're comfortable with, it might be a different feel if you were going 7 miles per hour plus. You know, it's really scary at those speeds, and that's why I highly recommend you guys to get protective gear or at least wear a helmet. So that's why today we're going to mention Nobleman. Nobleman was kind enough to send me their TQ1 carbon fiber pads. I'm very thankful they sent me these pads because I have fallen a couple of times, not on the ace deck, and falling around 30 miles per hour is really not that fun. The recovery time takes forever, you don't get the chance to go out and ride for a very long time, it just sucks. So I highly recommend you get gear or at least a helmet when you're out there riding for your own safety, for your own good. And Nobleman got it covered. These carbon fiber pads are made out of carbon fiber, 100% carbon fiber. It feels really nice. When I was testing out these carbon fiber pads, I was riding in 80 degree to 90 degree weather, and surprisingly enough, with me wearing sweatpants, there's a lot of ventilation on the sides and beneath the kneecap of the carbon fiber pad. So every time you bend your knees, the airflow actually goes into your knees. So it's a really nice feature when you're riding, especially for e-skating. You get that nice wind flow going into your knees and you don't have to worry about your legs sweating. These carbon fiber pads also have very nice cushioning as well. If you impact towards asphalt, that cushioning is definitely going to help your kneecaps and you don't have to be injured. And another great feature about these pads is that it's reflective on the sides, and when you're riding at night, cars will be able to see you, which is a nice touch. Also, these pads has a very nice buckle design. The upper part is velcro. You velcro it onto your knee, your leg, or your elbow, your arm, and it has these clips. You just clip it in, very nice, very quick, and when you want to take it off, you just press from both sides, the clips just pop right off. Definitely a good design. Now personally, back then when I e-skated, I just never thought about wearing protective gear. I always had a helmet on, but I just never thought about wearing protective gear, you know. I just never liked the way it looked. These Nobleman pads definitely add a nice taste to it. It looks very fashionable, very sleek as well. It's not bulging or anything. Definitely adds a nice touch when you're riding. If you want, my discount code will be listed in the description below. And now let's get to the testing of this board. Alright guys, so in this portion of the video, we're going to be talking about the actual real world tests we did on this board. I know some people out there don't like listening to the specs because sometimes they're not very accurate or they actually just want to see the real performance of the board. So first test we're going to talk about is the hill test. Now where I'm located, the highest elevation we have is around 400 feet. When I say this board could go up any hill, it'll go up any hill. I was going up hills from 35 to 40%, had no issues at all. In 4-wheel drive mode, I was actually topping out the speed going uphill, full battery, and going downhill as well. The brakes are really strong and they definitely slow you down. Definitely have no problem with that whatsoever.
What the fuck? Yo.
Now for the brake test, we compared a 2-in-1 board on the market right now with 90mm wheels and the A-Stack with the 8-inch tires. Now it might not look like a fair comparison, but what I'm about to show you guys right here is quite impressive because the A-Stack was able to slow down quicker and two-wheel drive as well, two-wheel drive. The brakes are definitely way stronger than most 2-in-1 boards in the market right now. And I had the brakes set on 100%. You definitely have to lean backward when you brake. The board will definitely jolt you off if you come to a complete stop. I didn't fully brake as well because of how powerful it was. And the 4-wheel drive, we don't even have to mention it because it braked even earlier. Definitely comes to a complete stop. So braking is definitely not an issue on this board. Next test is the off-road test. Now this board, like I mentioned, has 8-inch tires. And these tires, when you go off-road, it is so much better. I would never take a 2-in-1 board that had 6-inch tires all-terrain. This board had no problem at all. I was riding over vines and roots from trees and bunch of rocks and everything. It definitely rolls over any terrain. If you're wondering if I got any scratches beneath the deck, nope, not at all, because the deck is just so thin, which I really like. You could, like, honestly, you could go off curbs. Two-wheel drive, it might struggle on a really steep incline that has obstacles in the way, but if you just bump that up to 4-wheel drive, it has no problem at all. It'll definitely pull you up that hill with no issues whatsoever. If you stuck around to the end of this video, I really appreciate it for you guys watching the whole thing. It took a lot of time in editing. If you would like to purchase this board, please use my code ESkateNYC. You will get $40 off, and the first 3 people will get the accessory kit for free. By any chance, if you're not interested in this board, Ace-Tech actually released a brand new board called the NYX C1. The specs and the price is a no-brainer. If you would like to see a review on that board, please let me know in the comment section below. Also be sure to check out all of the people that were in this video. I'll have their social media in the description below. And feel free to check me out on Instagram and TikTok. I post there frequently. And if you have any thoughts or comments, feel free to ask in the comment section. I'll be answering anyone. And in the meantime, I'll see you guys in the next one.